everyone. So today is the day that I'm going to start filling up this composter, and I have to say thank you so much to everybody that left comments on the video where I put this together, because it was incredibly helpful. I still have no idea if I'm going to do this correctly, if it's going to work out, but I feel a bit more confident now than I did before. So thank you so much. Comments were very helpful. I've screenshotted the ones that I'm going to use to kind of help guide myself. Also, since then, I did reread the manual that came with this composter, and I was trying to find some videos about starting your compost in a tumbler composter, but I was finding that most of the videos were reviews, not necessarily how to get started. But then I found one from Garden Answer, so I will link that one down below in case you want to check it out as well. Another important update, I've decided to go with the name Ferris for the tumbler, so thank you so much to, I think it was Scott who recommended that name. But one, yes, it does look like a Ferris wheel, and two, Ferris Bueller's Day Off was filmed in Chicago, so to me that seemed like the perfect fit. I also love the name Bertha, but I feel like the composter needs to be larger. So I think if I do get a dual cage or dual partitioned composter, then I'll go with the name Bertha for that one. But again, I'm going to see if this actually works before investing in something a little bit larger. So the first question that I had as far as how to go about filling this up was, do I need to fill it up all in one go? So basically keep the composter empty until I had enough brown and green material to fill it, or can I slowly put in the brown and green material until it's full? And the instruction manual, I should have just read that, it said I can do either. So basically from what I gather is that the cooking process isn't going to completely start until I'm done adding stuff to it. So it's like either I'm going to be storing my brown and green material somewhere else and then waiting to fill it, or I'm just going to slowly fill it anyway. So I'd rather just start getting stuff in here. So I'm not going to fill it up all the way because I don't think I have enough specifically green material yet. I think I have enough brown material because I have a lot of cardboard boxes that I've cut up, but I think I need to wait on more green material. So I'm just going to continually add to this until it is almost all the way full. So the instructions said once it's almost all the way full, then stop and let it break down into compost. So that is my plan, and I'm gonna start today. So there's nothing in it right now, but I'm gonna start and then slowly add until it's full. So here is the brown material. I just basically have this bucket that I've been tearing up pieces of shredded brown paper and cardboard. That's essentially all of my brown ingredients, and I was extra careful, so I didn't add any tape. I didn't use any pieces of the cardboard that had dye on it either. So basically anything with like printing on it I didn't use. That I just put in our regular recycling. So I'm trying to be extra safe as far as getting started, just to make sure I try not to make any mistakes along the way. So that's what I have for my brown material. And then for the green material, in here I have this bucket with basically garden scraps. And again, I'm being extra careful here as well. So I'm not using anything that has seeds on it, so no like flower heads or anything like that, because I want to be careful that I'm not, I think once it heats up it's supposed to kill the seeds, but I want to kind of test and make sure to get hot enough to do that, etc., before I kind of start throwing everything in there. So I've avoided anything with seeds. I've obviously avoided anything that I think might have some sort of disease or issues like that. So it's basically a lot of the stems and leaves of just garden scraps. So that is what I have. I do have the kitchen bucket, but that is not full yet. That's almost full, so I'll add that later. I also have a jar of coffee grounds that I'm filling up as well. So that is basically all of the materials that I have. Now, as far as the ratios of green to brown, I've been seeing different things. So I saw a lot of 50-50, and then I saw a lot of like 3 parts of the brown to 1 part of the green. So I think I'm gonna try to start around 50-50 and then just adjust from there. One thing I saw, I think in the Garden Answer video, is since my brown material is coming mostly from cardboard, that will take longer to break down than, let's say, dried leaves. So I might need more green material than brown material. So that's why I'm kind of starting with the 50-50 split first. But obviously I have a lot more brown material, so if I realize I need to add more of that, that should be easy enough to adjust. Other things I read was to kind of start and end with the brown, and I think those were the only tips that I kind of saw to get myself started. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I also need to add compost. So I don't have a specific like compost starter, but I did see a lot of recommendations for if you don't have that to either just use soil from the ground, or if you already have compost ready to go. And then obviously once I make my first batch, fingers crossed, I can just leave some in there as a starter for the next batch. So I actually have chicken manure compost that I got from a garden center, so I'm going to use that in here as well. So I guess now I'm just gonna go ahead and start filling it. So I'm just gonna start with a handful of the compost that I already have from the garden center. Hope that's enough. If not, I can always add more. Then I did read to layer brown, green, and brown. So start with brown, end with brown. I don't know how much that matters in a tumbler, but I'm gonna do that anyway. So this is exciting, actually filling it up. Putting in some of the brown and grabbing my other bucket for the green. And then I'm just gonna keep going back and forth. Okay, so I'm pausing here with filling it up. I used all of the green material that I had in the bucket. I still have a pretty good amount of brown material, and I did read it's good to have brown material on hand because that's typically what you're going to use to adjust versus green, but we'll kind of see how this goes. I'd say this is a little less than halfway full. Other things, so there are little holes for air in here. I'll kind of keep an eye on that, see how it goes. If I feel like it needs more air circulation, I can always open up the little door here. As far as moisture, I'm not gonna add moisture yet. So some of the videos I saw, people would squirt a hose down in there, but then other people said you want to be careful not to make it too moist. So I'm going to wait a couple days, kind of see how humid it is inside there. If I need to add moisture, then I will. We're also supposed to get rain, I think, the next few days, so it's just going to be humid outside in general. So that's why I'm going to wait and see how it goes before adding moisture. Also, I think it was in the garden answer video where it said to not actually tumble it yet. Again, wait a couple days and let it sit. So I'm not going to do that either. Let me know if that is incorrect though, and I should, well, I guess by the time I post this, it already have been a couple days and I will have started tumbling it. But basically I'm gonna wait a couple days and then I'm just going to go ahead and rotate this every day or every other day and then just continue to add stuff to it. So anytime I get waste from the garden, I'll put it in there. Like I said, I have the kitchen scraps, I have my coffee grounds. You can also add dryer lint, which fantastic, because how else am I going to use all of that dryer lint, and put it in there. A few other things too. So my original location for this was on the part of the deck that we're on right here closest to the house, which gets the morning sun. So the sun rises that way and hits this wall, which is great, but that's not going to be the hottest sun. So I might actually put it on that side of the deck where we get sun a bit later in the morning, but then it stays till, I mean, the sun's still shining over there and it's a little bit after 5 o'clock right now. And hopefully that works in heating it up enough. If I find that it's not getting hot enough on this deck, I do know that it's much hotter on the garden side because that gets the west facing exposure. So I might try to scooch some stuff around and move it over there. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, like I said, I get all this information and then I kind of put on pause actually doing anything because it seems overwhelming. But once you do it, I mean, the stuff's in there now. Have to keep going forward with it. So it's exciting to have it filled up right now. I'll go ahead and put it in the place that I think I'm going to keep it, but it still might move around. Something nice about this is it's small enough, I think, even if it was completely full, for me to move around pretty easily. But I think that's everything. So I will obviously keep you updated on this. I don't know if I'll have a whole separate video unless there's enough to talk about with this. Probably at the end of the season I'll kind of let you know how it goes, but I'll keep you updated along the way if I'm making any adjustments to what's in there, if I find you need more brown versus green, if I do need to add more moisture, if I need to let more air circulate through there, if I'm tumbling it too much versus too little. I'll keep you updated. If it doesn't work at all, I'll keep you updated on that as well. So again, thank you so much for the advice. me and Ferris appreciate it very much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. So I've just moved it, like I said, a little bit further down so it gets more of the afternoon sun. Like I said, it's a little bit after 5 and there's still some sun hitting this back deck here. So this is where it's gonna sit for now, and I will let you know if I need to move it anywhere else.